is. If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
Good evening and welcome to the HHH Racing Podcast, episode 27 of Great Race Plays, a preview of the wonderful races at Santa Anita this Saturday, more specifically the $3 late pick 3 and the $3 turf pick 3. I'm your host, Howard Kravitz, along with co-host Pete Visco, and look who's here, rotating in for Ryan Anderson, co-host of Pacific Horse Players. Of course, you can find him in the Money Media as well. The one and only Jackson Muniz. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
What's up, fellas? Hey, Jackson, man. I don't know if we've ever done a regular show together before.
If we have, it's been a while, Pete.
It's been a long time, maybe. Yeah.
Good to talk to you again, and excited to get into these races with you guys. And Howard, long time no see. It's been a while since I've talked to you as well.
Yes, saw Jackson for the first time in a while at Keeneland, Pete, this past weekend. Had a great time with himself and Ryan and Noah and everyone. Had a good time. A few late nights apparently for the young guns. Since I'm old, I couldn't handle that, Pete. But the young guns, they had fun at Keeneland, and you know the betting, we don't worry about that. But we're here, guys, to talk about Santa Anita. Now the main Breeders' Cup preps are over, but the racing is still fantastic at Santa Anita. Real nice card this Saturday. Again, we cover the $3 turf pick 3 and the late pick 3. Before we do that, very quickly, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. Follow us on X at HHH Racing Pod, as I went with a little bit of a gold/yellow theme here tonight to honor Santa Anita. You can find out about our Power Pick tip sheet. Our regular one comes out on Saturdays. The ROI still rocking and rolling. Look below the video player for that information. You can purchase that through Patreon. And Pete, we should also mention a little production meeting in the middle of the show, as PTF would like to say. I'll be contacting you over the weekend / next week because our Breeders' Cup Power Pick tip sheet package, which is very popular, which everyone in the podcast family will be involved, of course, over 20 pages for the Breeders' Cup Friday and Saturday, will be on sale. Pete and Jackson, I know you'll be contributing. We're very excited about that. And you can find out more information about the podcast on our website, hhhracingpodcast.com. Last thing, very quickly, please get in touch with Matt Cutere, Adelphi Racing Club, proud sponsor of the HHH Racing Podcast, and yours truly, Gemmin 10, supposed to be racing on Sunday. The weather looks a little shaky starting Sunday. A little nor'easter coming your way, apparently, Mr. Visco. I don't know if you're going to get brushed by that or not, but that's what I hear. Could be a lot of rain your way.
Yeah, my wife's supposed to go. My wife is going to the Ravens game on Sunday. It's supposed to be like 90% rain to watch Cooper Rush get their asses kicked, which sounds fun. I said, just get drunk. You don't have to worry about the rain then. That's what the concourse is for.
There you go. Not a bad idea. We have Jaime Pena. What's up? ¿Cómo estás, Jaime? How are you? I don't think we've seen that name in the chat, Pete. So we love our new viewers, especially our West Coast listeners. And hello, everyone, of course, who is watching on the Santa Anita YouTube channel and watching / listening on the Santa Anita X handle right now as we speak, Jackson, as this show is viewed by many people all over the internet. Matt Miller is here, home from a winning Cubs game. Yes, that was cool, Matt. We pulled it out. He's a Sox fan, by the way, for the record, but he just goes to all games and supports Chicago. So we still got a ways to go. The Brewers up 2-1 as we're filming the show here on Thursday. John Judge wants to congratulate all the Cubs fans. Jim Plars is here. Gary Matthews is here. Tough races. Can't wait. We're going to break it down here in just a second. Thomas Minoz is here from San Francisco area. I see Jim Plars in the chat. A lot of people. Look who's here. Ryan Anderson, the Gallop Out. Best sprinter in the country runs Saturday. Interesting. Yep, he's never going to let that go, is he, Jackson? Just never.
I wouldn't count on it, no.
I like how he can be in the chat but not on the show. What's going on here?
Howard, God forbid the horse semi wins the sprint. I don't know what you're going to have to do, but he will never ever stop talking.
Yeah, no, I know. He was mentioning in our group chat about what his favorite horse that can't Nysos, who can't even get to the gate. So I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. We wish Nysos well. He just he can't stay healthy, man. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, guys, let's talk about Saturday. Before we talk about the actual race themselves, real quick promo, because one of the main reasons why we are here is because of the Turf Pick 3. Great bet. Let's find out more about the Turf Pick 3 at the Great Race Place.
Play the Santa Anita All-Turf Pick 3. The last 3 turf races on the card. $3 minimum. Player-friendly 15% takeout. Every race day at Santa Anita Park.
Pete, I miss Frankie with the bow and arrow kind of thing. I know that's different promo.
That's the other promo, right?
Yeah, I know. Maybe we'll have to bring that up. By the way, pleasure to talk to Frankie. I was literally, on the show. I know the tech got messed up a little.
Yeah, we wouldn't know, but
Well, no, enough. It was pretty cool to be that close to a legend. It was the second time that I had a chance to speak with Mr. Dettori. So anyway, let's get into it, guys. Here we go. I'm going to bring up the banners. We're going to rock and roll into race 5. Now we're covering, ladies and gentlemen, race 5, 7, 8, and 9. The Turf Pick 3 starts in race 5, covers race 5, 7, and 9. The late pick 3, of course, is the last 3 races, 7, 8, 9. They're both $3 base bets. Let's get to it right now, guys. You see our picks are on the bottom of the screen. Whoops, and that's not what I wanted. Let's try again with perhaps sharing the screen, which would absolutely help when you want to bring up some information. And here it is right there. There we go. Maiden 50 on the turf. Now, the rails are out 20 feet. Jackson, I'd love to get your opinion on that in just a second, if that matters or not. Maidens, again, for 50K is the price. It's a pretty big field of 9 big morning favorite. The number 7, a 5-year-old gelding, Reno, Urton Barrios. Let's bring everyone on screen. First, Jackson, and I'm going to put you full screen. You are, of course, our West Coast specialist here on the show. Rails being out 20 feet. I'm having you solo here. What does that mean, if anything at all?
Definitely want to upgrade speed. Definitely want to upgrade the speed a little bit, but I do think it matters more in the 2-turn races than it does sprinting. I think sprinting, it's still pretty fair. Obviously, you don't want to be coming from dead last, but that's true of any turf sprint. So I think turf sprints, it's pretty similar, but definitely routing-wise, you want to be a little bit closer than you typically would.
I would agree. It makes somewhat of a difference. And I'll tell you what, Jackson, I've seen many horses try to come up the rail when the rail's out. No bueno. There's less room. I mean, it can happen, obviously, but I don't know about you, but if I have a closer, I'd rather them just go 3 or 4 wide when the rail's out instead of trying to sneak up the inside. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think you want to try to stay ground on the first turn, but by the time you get the second turn, I think you want to just try to stay in the clear at that point.
Yes, on the far turn, I should have clarified. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I'm going 8, 7, 9. I'm going completely off the reservation in this race. Pete's going 7, 9, 3. Jackson's going 7, 6, 3. Jackson, I'll let you go first. You are chalking out with Reno. He's clearly the horse to beat. He's also clearly lost many races and is a 5-year-old gelding who's going to be a big favorite. These are the kind of horses I try to beat, but I have to admit, this is definitely the horse to beat for sure.
I try to be with you, Howard. I tried really hard to look for an alternative to try to beat this colt or this gelding now who's had his chances. As you mentioned, he's had chances. He's been right there, but keeps running second, keeps running third. But ultimately, I just think he's the speed of the speed in this race. He's drawn well towards the outside in here, and he's been facing tougher horses. There's no doubt about that. That race on August the 4th, finished second to September 64, was a decent horse. Even the race on July 19th, he lost to Arrakis, who came back and finished second in a way tougher group in an allowance race later in the meet. So he's been losing to solid horses. Last time, he took a step back last time, but even with that step back, that race is probably good enough to win on Saturday. So I think as long as he shows up with one of his most recent efforts, he's probably going to win this thing.
I sort of agree with you, but they've got the 9. Here's how I feel. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll hold off on my overall opinion. They've got the 9, by the way, Jackson, as you can see, according to Timeform, who has never been on turf, right up with the 7. Pete, is the 9 the one that could be the fly in the ointment of the 7? You have the 9 second.
Yeah, that was the biggest concern. I mean, we don't know what the 9 is going to do, if it's going to be able to show the same speed on turf, but if it does, and if it does press the 7, we've seen the 7 has struggled to hold to begin with. So that's part of the problem. And I mean, now we're dropping down from maiden special into maiden claiming with the 7 Reno. But again, if the 9 goes and the 9 even just sits off and can pressure the horse, then either it sort of kills them both and sets up for a horse like yours, or the 9 could just get that nice stalking trip that a lot of horses like. And if it takes to the turf, then I think you're maybe cooking with a little something there. There's not some, there wasn't some great stats like Tim Yaktine, 6% dirt to turf, but it is dropping down. No turf runners on the dam side so far. So there wasn't a ton to go on with this horse in terms of whether they would take to it. Even we look at the Tomlinson score sometimes, it's 295, which isn't all that great on but then the time form breeding rating, they have a little something, is a 97 for turf sprints. So I'm like, even the statistics or the ratings sort of contradict each other. I just wasn't sure what to do this one, but I think could at least get a good trip if takes to it. But otherwise, if this horse doesn't go, I agree with Jackson. The 7 just might be loose, and that might be just enough. Just the drop in class and the loose lead could be enough if that's the way it shakes out.
Well, and the issue with the 9 is the speed that the time for projector has is based on races that he ran 2 years ago.
23. Yeah, 23. Yeah.
Well, true, but those dirt races he's been involved in are pretty fast fractions. I guess my overall question, Jackson, knowing Yaktine like you may know a little bit, does this feel very experimental they're putting him on the turf? You think they actually see something in the morning? Combination of both?
At this point, it feels experimental, right? He's a gelding. He's a 4-year-old gelding. There's at one point they paid a ton of money for him. They're just trying to find out where this horse fits because his last couple races have just been okay.
Guys, here's my opinion. I have no idea if B Grayson's good enough. The fact he's probably not. But you know what, guys? I don't trust the 7 at all. I think the 9 is going to go pretty aggressively. And there's a horse in here that I think we need to mention that I think could cause a problem. And that's the number 4, Salient. And now before everyone laughs, Escobedo is very, very aggressive rider. And this horse, actually on the dam side, guys, it's that unusual heat line, Jackson. There is some turf breeding on the dam side. So while I don't like the 4, my gut feeling is here the 4 is an absolute dead send. And again, I have no idea if he's fast enough to go with those other ones. Probably not. But I think the 4 is going. I think the 3 could be going with JJ. The 9's going to be going. And I just don't trust the 7 at all. Not even a little bit. He's the horse to beat. I get it. Maybe, guys, Kimura, who's improving with this 8, B. Grayson, the source is getting better. I know he's 50-1 last time. That's an open main specialty. Drops down to 50, drops down in distance, has been working steadily, gets Kimura again. I don't know, guys. Maybe this thing falls apart and B. Grayson can win it 12-1. I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibility. I know you guys don't have the 8 anywhere. I get it. He's probably not good enough. I'm just going with a fresh face. And Jackson, the last one we'll mention, look, I've got Golden Surprise that we're going to see later in the ticket. This might be a Golden Surprise, and I do not like Mike Smith in general on the turf, but you and I wouldn't be completely shocked if this firster wins. I mean, this race is just begging out for someone to beat the 7.
Agree. And I think if someone were to blow it up, I just didn't want anyone else that has run before. I wasn't in love with anything. I didn't see any huge angles to try to upgrade them. So if I was going to pick an alternate, I wanted the fresh face, who's just a complete unknown in this spot.
Yeah, it's funny, Jackson. I was thinking the same thing because I was like, these horses all kind of suck. And then I was looking at the 6 and on the sire side, Progeny 0 for 28 in turf sprints. The dam was 0 for 7 in turf sprints, or the dam Progeny, and James Cassidy 1 for 16 first-time starters. I'm like, I can't even make a half-ass case. I mean, I agree. The rest of them are so crap. Any of them could win. But I was like, man, I can't even make a case for a nice first-time starter that you would think you would be able to. But I tried. I'm with you. I was trying to beat these stupid horses, but I don't know. Winds up to 7. Will just roll at 3-5 or something.
For all you fans of Santa Anita, any horsemen watching, Pete doesn't really mean they're suck and they're stupid. We are sponsored.
Sometimes
we are
they
sponsored
suck.
by Santa Anita.
But they're not running the horses. They're the own the track. They're not the ones who actually put the race together. So
Pete's got that East Coast, like, we get it, Pete. They struggle. They struggle. We
look for races, right, where you could beat a 7-5 favorite That's
Absolutely.
that's what we always want in a sequence like this. And then you're looking at it going, man, I can't make a strong enough case to do it sometimes, and that's frustrating.
No doubt. Pete keeps it 100, as my students at school would like to say. All right, let's go on to race 7. Now, race 7 is leg 2 of the Turf Pick 3, and this is the feature race of the day, gentlemen. Let me bring it up on screen. This is the California flag presented by City National Bank. $100,000 is the purse. They're going down the hill. Of course, it is for Golden State horses. It's for the Calibreds. Nice field of 8 here. Morning line favorite, pretty wide open field, is, according to Ryan Anderson, the best sprinter in the country. The horse that out of absolutely nowhere, and a good call by Ryan that day, upset the field in the Bing Crosby. Lovesick Blues for Braccio and Franco, 5-2. And let's be very clear, ladies and gentlemen, and Braccio has mentioned this a few times, guys. This is a prep. Now, this is a prep of the Breeders' Cup. Now, I think they're in the Breeders' Cup Sprint, right, Jackson? Have they committed to that? I don't know if they have or not.
I mean, when you're the best sprinter in the country, don't you go to the Breeders' Cup Sprint? I mean, why wouldn't you?
I guess so. So, Jackson, we've heard Baraccio say that this is a prep. There's trainers speak, and then there's trainers speak. How ready do you think this horse is to win this race on Saturday? Because that's a major question that people have to answer. You have it second. Pete's got Lovesick Blues third. I have him out of the money.
I think you definitely have to respect him off that most recent effort, right? Because it was a monster performance, and if he does run back to that race, he's going to win. There's no doubt about that. But it's a serious question mark. Is he going to replicate that? Because as you mentioned, this is not the target. The target is 3 weeks from now. It's on the dirt. It's a very different race. They're not going to, bottom out the well for this $100,000 race when he's going to be 5-1 in the Breeders' Cup in a couple of weeks. So the other question mark is he able to replicate that effort on the turf? Because up to this point, his highest buyer is just 92. And if he runs 92 in here, there's plenty of other horses that are capable of running that fast. So you just got to ask yourself, how short of a price do you want to take on him?
Hey, Jackson, he's lost 18 straight on turf, by the way, this horse.
Well,
so another one it's a relatively low favorite that you're like, okay, that last effort was awesome, but it was on dirt and hasn't won on turf in a pretty long time. Against better.
He won in May on the turf, but prior to that, it had been a long time since he had won.
Oh, no, I did. Yeah, sorry. He won. He did win in May. He's like one for like 18. My bad.
I mean, guys, aren't we looking at 9-5 here? I mean, this horse to be the clear favorite, no?
I would think.
Oh, if that race got it. I mean, you win a grade 1, then you come into a listed stakes. I would assume so.
It's going to be interesting. We have over 300 people, by the way, watching. Many people watching on the Santa Anita X channel. Again, Howard Kravitz, Pete Visco, Jackson Muniz. Please hit that subscribe button on the bottom right-hand side of the screen as we are approaching 6,000 subscribers overall on the HHH Racing Podcast, and smash that like button below the video player on YouTube. So if you're on X, all you Santa Anita watchers, check out our YouTube channel. Again, just go to YouTube, HHH Racing Podcast in the search bar. We got a ton of great content. Thanks for watching tonight. I'm going 6-4-3. Pete's going 6-3-2. Look at this. Jackson's going 6-2-5. We are all going to number 6, Mana Rose. Pete, did this horse run big off the layoff last time? Now, that was Los Al, which can be a quirky kind of track, but he's got a 104 in his back pocket. Not down the hill, I should mention. But this 5-year-old gelding is fast.
Yeah, not down the hill, but we do tend to like cutbacks from a mile, seem to do well going down the hill. And this horse, I mean, he could just have sort of you hope for that when you're going 4-5. You're like, are they going to sort of sustain their form? And he definitely did. So that form that was coming on in sort of the fall of 24 still looks to be there. That was a monster race. Now we're getting back on the turf, though. So obviously that's a change, but he has races on the turf. You see like you said, the buyer, the 104, beat Lovesick Blues on the dirt. The greatest sprinter in the world beat him on the dirt last year. So I just think there's a lot of talent here. And again, maybe this one, the price is a little bit better because Lovesick Blues just takes money off that last race. And I just think this one could just be in great form, and that form can continue, and we just don't know how good yet. Now we're coming second off a pretty likely layoff too. So you're hoping for a little bit of a sharper run here.
This is interesting to me, Jackson, and I'm not gonna criticize your picks, but I'm curious to ask you a question. So Booksmart is very fast. I think probably in the first 10, 15 yards, or I don't know, first furlong, probably faster than the 6. You have the 6 on top and you have the 3 nowhere. So explain to the viewers and listeners your pace scenario situation, because they definitely have to avoid hooking up with each other. I'm assuming you think the 6 and Maldonado is smart enough and good enough to maybe sit off the 3 a little bit and the 3 just gets tired in the lane. Is that your vision here?
That's my vision. Yeah, I think the 3 is definitely better going the flat 5 than he would be going down the hill. He's proven it at this point. He's run much faster going the flat 5 than 6.5. So I think if you're Hector Berrios on the 6, you're just going to let the horse go. You're going to let him do his thing on the front end. You're more worried about horses like the 1 and the 2 coming from way out of it. So you probably just sit a length or 2 off and let the pace, like I said, let the pace runner go, and you take over whenever you feel like you have that ability to, and then you try to hold off the closers late.
Yeah, I like the 6 also, guys. I love the turn back. You guys both nailed everything on the head. Maldonado's got to be smart here. There's no way he wants to get hooked up with the 3. And according to time form, which we all respect, he's not going to. You guys have the 2 and the 3. We just saw at Booksmart. We talked about Lovesick Blues already. Guys, I want to mention one horse that I think is a little bit interesting. Sir Rocket. I know he's a little bit slower on paper. There's 2 things I like. I think they're going to go pretty quick. We didn't even talk about the 8 on the outside, Flyover, who should show some speed also. Ayuso, I'm sorry to all you fans of Mike Smith, is an upgrade at this point of Mike Smith's career. And this is one of the few horses in the race, guys, that can close. Now, I understand the rails are out, but this horse is getting better. And I thought he actually ran pretty well from the 11 hole last time. He's only a 4-year-old. He's been working well. I think Drysdale can still win. A lot of weird things would have to happen for him to win. But I think, Pete, this is a great horse to use underneath. You guys don't have him in the mix on the top 3. Pete, is this a horse you would consider at least maybe for second or third to fill out a try?
Yeah, I actually had him as sort of A-level horse for me. I couldn't get past the fact that if there's a slow pace and the fact that I just don't know if he's fast enough to win it. So I didn't put him in the top 3 because I wasn't 100% sure if he could win the race unless a little bit of hell broke loose. And I wasn't sure that was going to happen here. But I like this horse and I was trying to get him higher, but I just don't know. And this, I guess that's why you're getting the 10 though. So I like the pick because this is the kind of horse that if he jumps up, you get the price because you didn't know he was going to jump up. And if he does, and if the race does heat up a little bit, then I think he's going to be the one flying late. It's just a point of how far back he is.
I mean, Jackson, someone's got to finish late. The other thing is I'm not a weight guy, Jackson, but 5 pounds is 5 pounds. I mean, so he gets 5 pounds less. He gets a better jockey. He'll make one run. I see no reason why Sir Rocket can't maybe get up for second. If he wins, I'd be a little surprised. Maybe the 3 and 6 go too quick. I mean, we've seen stranger things.
Well, especially with him, his scenario where he wins is where this thing just completely falls apart. So in that scenario, the 5 pounds, when they're all staggering him to the finish line, could come into play when he's carrying a little bit less towards the finish line.
I'm going to throw him. I'm going to throw him in the. Well, we'll see the turf pick 3 and the late pick 3. I'm going to throw him in there. I think he's a little bit interesting, guys, especially underneath. Let's go to race 8. Race 8 is not part of the turf pick 3. It is for Calbred's main 50 on the dirt, 5.5. Pete, let me put this a little more diplomatically. This is a hungry bunch. Would that be fair to say? Not the most talented runners, but hey, they deserve to go to the winner's circle. Moreline favorite is the number 6. I'm Not Vanilla Sky for Glatt and Kimura, 5-2, completely wide open morning line. I'm going 6-4-7. Pete's going 7-6-4. Same 3, Pete. Jackson's going 6-5-2. He's going with 2 that we don't have, and I can hardly blame Jackson because this is another one of those races, guys, where you're trying to maybe find something that may or may not be there. Jackson, let's go to you. You and I agree. We're going to go with I'm Not Vanilla Sky for Glatt. I should, by the way, mention congratulations to Jeff Mullins, who we liked in the last race, who won the American Pharaoh, beating 4 Bafferts at a 6-4 field. Really quite. It was Ignito. Do I remember that correctly? Is that the name? The one, the American Pharaoh. I think that's correct.
Something like that.
So.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. I
don't know how to pronounce it. That's why I didn't want to say it.
Okay. I'm Not Vanilla Sky. Jackson, talk to us. This one is favorite morning line. I think we'll get that 5-2. I do believe.
I sure hope so. This is a filly I had a note on before she even ran, and she ran opening day at Del Mar. She drew the rail that day. She was stuck on the inside the whole time, and that opening day card was a huge outside bias. The rail was not the place to be. She was stuck on it the whole time, and she ran okay in that race against a way better field. Got a good solid number. Came back again on Pacific Class today, again against what was probably supposed to be a really good field, and again drew the rail and showed more speed, but just couldn't quite clear that field, and had to back off a little bit, and then try to make her move around the turn. And just got beat to the spot by the eventual winner, Miss Kona, and was just always behind horses. And again, I thought she ran perfectly fine in that race. That race has come back live. I think the second and third place finishers came back and ran 1-2. And now she's drawn towards the outside where she's not going to be stuck on the rail. She's going to be able to dictate terms to the pace this time. It's a much softer field. She's paired up with buyer tops. I think there's a lot to like about this filly. I'm not going to mess around with anybody else in these horizontals and just keep my whole day around her, to be honest.
Wow.
I
you know what? I like it too, Jackson, and because of the 244 buyers, which don't look anything special, I think we will get that 5-2. I agree. I think there's definitely something. The rail opening weekend, not good. I just think there's something that horses don't like to be crowded down there, especially younger horses. And when she finds herself sort of in the middle of the pack, chasing horses not nearly as talented, I just think naturally she's going to feel a lot more comfortable. You agree? You've got her in second, but you're going to the final table lady, Pete, the number 7, blinkers off, Anton Georgi and Parabon. This is a fast filly with the blinkers off, Pete. I assume they're going to try to rate a little bit, or at least get the horse on the lead and try to relax more, because boy, she's had trouble finishing, but this is an easier bunch.
Yeah, definitely. Real quick on the horse, the I'm Not Vanilla Sky, Marcolat, dropping from maiden special to maiden claimings in dirt sprints at Santa Anita. Not a huge sample size, but 6 for 15 wins, 9 for 15 in the money. So that move works for him a lot. So that was one thing that I kind of liked about that one. Yeah, this one, it was one of those where you're taking the blinkers off and you're like, okay, can this horse sit? Because basically this horse loses ground in the lane every race. But now, like you said, now we're dropping down, which we know could always be, it's always the hardest one, because we always say it's a huge drop down, but I always like, well, if a horse stinks at maiden special, and this horse doesn't stink by any means, but if a horse just has struggled a bit to hold, will that drop down really just be the thing that puts it over the top? And I'm kind of hoping here, or again, that they could just relax the horse. Don't get too crazy early. Even if you can sit off, that would be fantastic. Jorge Parabon, 35%, 71% in the money, maiden special to maiden claiming in dirt sprints. And he was, and 3 for 4 blinkers off in dirt sprints. So it's been a move that works for him. Thank you. Intrepido, that's the one.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it.
The last one too, Time Form, liked it a little bit better than, more than buyer. So I know it says 54 for the pace there. I forget I'd have to look. The Time Form number was 72 last out. This is the time to try and beat him. Look at that.
Wow.
Well, that's only
Shocking.
Because then Ryan could get a bigger price in the Breeders' Cup when he wins the Breeders' Cup Sprint, right, Ryan?
Sure.
Yeah, this horse had a 72 Time Form as opposed to, 29 buyer. So there's a huge discrepancy there between the two. So Time Form appreciated the pace. So I think there's a lot to like at a decent price here.
I don't blame you for taking this horse, Pete. I went back and forth. Jackson, this 7 is confounding, because normally this is a horse I love. There's 2 things I don't like. The 5.5 is going to be problematic, and they're coming back real quick. It's almost like Parabon just looked in the condition book, Jackson, saw this race, and like, we have to enter this horse because we want to drop her anyway. I just, it's coming back quick. It's going to be less than 6-1. But Pete, if you get, 4 or 5-1, this is absolutely a horse to use. I got a feeling she's going to be bet a lot more than that 6-1, Jackson. That's my feeling.
She could be. I mean, anytime you have the speed that she does in these 2-year-old races going one tournament, it's very, very dangerous, and they tend to take money.
Yep. Blame it on Abby. Absolutely has numbers that fit. This is another drop down. I like her actually quite a bit, along with the 6. Why don't you talk very quickly about a great shaking? Do you have any intel on this Hansen Firster with Abel Lascano? Again, pretty good numbers, debut maiden claiming. So this situation might fit the this filly, who is a daughter of
For me, it's very similar to the first race we covered. It's of the horses I have on top, I like the 6 so much more than everyone else that has ran before. The 5 is the fresh face in this race. And I was able to watch one of her workouts where she didn't break great, but she rushed up and showed speed after that and was clearly best in the work. So I do think there's a little bit of ability there to be seen if she can run with the 6 horse.
And we didn't mention your 2, who's actually got really nice work from the gate at Los Al, best of 33. She struggled also. This is, again, this is tricky, guys. It's a hungry bunch. We'll see. Jackson is all over the 6. I don't like the 6 as much as Jackson, but that is definitely my top choice as well. Guys, let's go to the last race of the sequence. And this is obviously very, very important race. It closes out the turf pick 3. It closes out the late pick 3. It closes out the pick 5, the pick 6. It's the last race. So, of course, it closes out everything. Let's go to it right now. And it's going to happen about 5:08 local. It's a very nice allowance optional 80K on the turf. They're going 1 mile and 1/8. We've seen these horses knock heads several times. And again, guys, very wide open board. I love that. Moreline favorite, and it's a soft one, is the Calbred, the number 3, Old Pal for Glatt, who's got 2. Baltus has 2. I'm just looking. Yeah. Nice horse for Kimura, a 5-year. Let's see where we're going to close out the day. I'm going 6.39. Pete's going 3.72. Jackson is going 9.53. Wow, we are all over the map here. Pete, let's start with you. You're going to chalk out with the soft favorite morning line. Your Old Pal.
Yeah, my Old Pal. We'll see if he closes this out for us. Then he'll be. Then
he might not be your pal after that race.
Yeah, maybe
not.
not.
The job done.
I mean, some stupid reasons why is Santa Anita. The horse like Santa Anita, obviously 8 for 8 in the money, 4 wins, 3 for 3 in the top 2 at the distance. Still seems to be improving too. I mean, he's 5, but I mean, he's only run 11 times. So it's not like he's a super old veteran. So from a figure standpoint, they still seem to be getting incrementally better. And he came back at 5 and broke, he came back at 5 off, not a very long layoff, and had a lifetime buyer top, and then's been on the shelf for a while. So that's obviously a little bit concerning. So he might need one, but the works have been sharp. So at least if you're looking at the last couple works, at least they've been, I mean, they're not fantastic or anything, but they've been sharp enough to say maybe this horse is in good form. And if he repeats that form and is ready, then I think at least he's a player, and that I guess that's why he's 3-1. And from a pace standpoint, I think there's a moderate enough pace here to where he's going to be closing. That's his only problem. He tends to sometimes be a little bit too far back, but if we can get a little bit of pace up front, hopefully that could help him out.
I'm doing 90 to 270, which is obviously halfway between the 6 months approximately. Actually, it's more like 7 or 8. Mark Lapp, pretty damn good, Pete, sorry. 22% win, 55% of the money. Obviously, this is something that Glatt can certainly do. So maybe, does that alleviate any concerns for you, Pete?
No, because that was the hope. So I'm with you on that. I mean, I guess it's every horse is their own case, but at least we've shown that he can do that. He did lose the last 3 times he was in open company, but he ran well. So it's not like he was outclassed or losing. So I think, again, I'm encouraged by the fact that when he came back, he was a little bit better. So it showed that he was still improving. And again, distance, track, he loves. So we just need the pace.
I agree. We all got him in the mix. Pax a Wallop. This is your top choice here, Jackson. I looked at this one real carefully. He is in for 80. He's a 5-year-old. He's only 3 for 23. All that being said, there's not a ton of early speed in here, Jackson. I don't want to spoil your wonderful analysis as you're about to give. I'm assuming that's your main angle here.
Yeah, the biggest question mark for me was trying to figure out how this pace would shake up, because as you mentioned, there really isn't a whole lot of it. And I think the most likely horse to lead the field is probably this 9, Pax a Wallop, whose form is a little bit dirtied up. We have the dirt races where he's clearly not a dirt horse at this point in his career. And then the race, 2 back in that marathon race, he just never was able to get over. He had a rider that typically likes to come from off it, a little bit more conservative. I think today they're just going to go. They're going to get back to what was working earlier this year in the spring. They're going to go to the front, and they're going to try to take this field a long, long way. And the last time he was at a level like this where he was forward, he ran a 94 buyer. And if he runs that 94 buyer in this race, he's going to be very, very tough to beat. And he's not going to be favored in this race, rather. He is going to be at least, I don't know if he'll get 10-1, but at least 7 or 8, I would think.
You would take this pace scenario, right, Jackson?
Oh, I'd be very, very happy with that. Oh, yeah.
I think something needs to be mentioned here, Jackson, and you could absolutely be right, and I'm using him, but I think this is worth mentioning. And I think that's a bit of a fallacy that I know the three of us know and many people watching and listening know, but it's also a handicapping angle that a lot of people don't quite understand. Paxawal, his last two real nice efforts close to the lead, were a mile 3/8 and a mile and a quarter. This is a mile and an eighth. Now, that means basically it should be a little bit of a faster pace, and the horses have that are going to be up close have a better finishing kick. Is it possible, Jackson, that Paxawal might be better on the lead in longer races as opposed to this shorter distance when in theory you'd think he'd be more effective going shorter?
It's definitely possible. I think what works for him in this race is he's the horse that's stretching out from a mile to 9 furlongs. So he's been in a race that had a faster pace. A lot of these are cutting back from those marathon races that you mentioned. So he does have that going for him. And especially with the outside post, I think they're going to want to be a little bit more aggressive than usual. So I'm hoping they just send him to the front.
Yeah, he gets the lead. He's got a shot. I think the 3 and 6 are just better animals. I know City Exile looks a little bit slightly slower, guys, by the buyers. By the time for him, he absolutely fits. And this is sort of what I'm talking about here, Jackson. I just think the 6 is going to be breathing on the 9 or not that far back. And I just think he's a better animal. And it's JJ. I could be wrong, of course. Could be wrong here. He's only 2 for 18. He's not exactly a win machine. I do like City Exile, guys. I think he's getting the jump on the rest of the field. Of course, other than I think he's tracking off Paxawal. Maybe gets the jump on year 3, Pete. And I think he has a big shot here. He's faced some very nice animals. Atitlan, you see Gold Phoenix. Again, he was right there with Paxawal in the Whittingham. So I think he's just as good. The benefit that you have there, Jackson, and I'd be remiss not to say it, is you would figure Paxawal is going to be a bigger price. I don't know about twice the price, but I think we're looking at 3-1 versus 5-1, maybe even 6-1. So from that aspect, I guess Paxawal maybe is the play.
Yeah, maybe 6 or 7-1, I would have to guess.
Is there
you figure D'Amato and JJ will take money naturally, those two together. It's funny. You know what surprised me, Howard, on that 6? Like you figure D'Amato and JJ. I mean, they're both high percentage in turf routes at Santa Anita together in the past couple of years. They're 2 for 31 teaming up. That just really surprised me. I don't know if that would sway me one way or the other. It just really shocked me when I looked that up because I saw, on DRF where it shows they're only hitting 11% overall together, but it's even worse on the turf, which is that just shocked me. Again, they're so great that I don't think it would take me off the horse if I liked it, but it was a surprising stat that was enough when you're nitpicking between two horses.
I would guess, total guess, maybe someone in the chat could talk about it or look it up. I'm guessing that combo's better at Del Mar, Jackson, than Santa Anita, where Tomato's horses are a little more cranked up. Or am I just throwing crap out there? I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
I didn't investigate the reason.
I think you said he's 2 for 31 with D'Amato.
It was 2 for 31 just in turf routes.
When we team up together. So
it's
just how it goes.
Well, because you don't want to ride those Baffert speed horses that he throws them on, and that's when he wins them all.
Yeah.
Hey Pete, real quick, the Euro with the American name Henry Adams. This is your second choice.
Yeah, he's a weird one. He hasn't run since April 24, however many months that is, 16 months or so. Baltus isn't exactly great with foreign shippers, only 2 for 25. And his worst race was routing, but that was on dirt in the UAE Derby against Forever Young. So I don't think we're going to count that one against this field. My only thought with this one was just 4 years old, 6 starts, and is running some huge races. What if this horse just got better? And now off the time off, this horse is just better based on class, is just better than this field. So if he comes back better as a 4-year-old, which we know that progression could be there, then maybe he's just better and you get him at a decent price because nobody knows it yet.
It's fair. That's completely up to the board. If this horse is actually bet, look out. If he's like 8-1, I want no part of him. That's how I'm going to handle that. And again, we have over 400 people watching live right now. Thank you so much. Hit that subscribe button. The top right there, the notification bell, and smash the like button. Do all that good stuff here on YouTube. Let's go to our Turf Pick 3 tickets. Jackson, look, Jackson, I know you had a little bit of a rough weekend at Keeneland, but hope it wasn't that rough. He's going light, and you know what? I like it. Played for 10, played for $15 because Jackson, if you're right, you are going to get paid, my friend. Very simple. This is races 5, 7, and 9, ladies and gentlemen, on Saturday. 5, 7, 9. He's going to go 7 with 6 with 5, 9. Very simple.
Very simple. This is definitely one I would want to press up. So I'd love to pick 3 because you forces you to have really strong opinions, and I feel like I do in all 3 legs of this sequence. So that first race, not going to mess around with too much. Just going to go with Reno and hope he wins as a very short price and move on to the next race. In the second leg, that's the California Flag. I felt like it was a 2-horse race. I felt like it was either Lovesick Blues or it was the 6 Mana Rose. I much prefer the 6. So again, I don't want to split. I don't want to waste equity doubling up in that race. I'm just going to hope I'm right on that 6 horse and get alive from the last leg where, again, I like Paxton Wallop in that race. I think he's going to be the speed of the speed. And then the other horse I am going to use, though, is Lamas, who we didn't talk about too much, but he's also a horse that likes to be somewhat for the place. He's got numbers that fit, and he's a horse that can definitely make some noise in that race as well.
Yeah, it's Mullins, Kyle Frey, an 8-year-old Lamas, who I've bet several times, and is honest, they come 24 out of 39 in the money, by the way, with the number 5 Lamas in the last race. Every time I see that name, Pete, I think of the horse, not a cat, but a llama, before Jackson's time.
Yeah,
the puncher horse that ran in your neck of the woods. Really nice turf horse, by the way. What a fantastic name. You remember that horse, right?
Yes, I do. That's old school. Yes, I remember that horse very well.
Ran, I think, in the 2000, maybe early 2010, 11, probably about 15 years ago, somewhere around there. Anyway, Pete, turf pick 3, 7-9 with 2, 3, 4, 6 with 2, 3, 7, $72.
Yeah, I think I like the way Jackson played it too. If you'd almost play a second ticket where you could press 1, but this is one where you're trying to beat either Reno. Reno, is that the horse in the first leg? Yeah, Reno, right? Yep. You're trying to beat Reno or hopefully Reno and Lovesick Blues, but if you can beat one of those 2, then you can get this up a little bit. And I just think there's a couple spots for prices, and I think the favorites, at least, they're vulnerable enough to where they're possibly can be taken down. So it's more of a luck play if you can get one of those beat and a decent long shot to win those races. Then I think it could pay off a bit.
I like it. Now mine, I got to be very clear, and feel free to laugh at home. That's fine. I can't use Reno. I can't do it. I know the 7 Reno in the first leg is probably going to win, and he's going to win at 4 to 5. If someone breathes on Reno, I don't think he wins. Now, whether they breathe on him or not, I don't know. So just be very clear. No hate mail, no hatred. I know the 7's a big favorite in the first race, and they'll probably win. I'm going to throw the Wacko 4 in there, guys, who's first-time turf, the unusual heat. There's a lot of turf breeding there, and this is the kind of race where I want to find a fuzzy. I'll go 4, 8, 9. The 8's a closer, and the 9's the other speed. I would probably throw the 6 in there also. I would spread more than what you see. I'm not going to use Reno. I'd go 3, 4, 6 in leg 2. And then I'll go with Old Pal and my top choice, the number 6 in the lat race, City Exile. Well, I do respect your pick, Jackson. And on a probably pick 5 ticket or somewhere else, or a backup ticket, I'd use the 9 also. But there's a $54 ticket. As we wrap up here, Jackson, again, first time on Great Race Plays. We have a lot of people watching from the West Coast area who may or may not be familiar with you. Well, tell everyone where they can find you. I, of course, did not mention earlier that you're on with Ryan Anderson. Fantastic Gallop Out show. Where can people find you on X on the bottom of the screen, or just anywhere in general?
Yeah, on X, it's _. I'll usually post, links to all our shows, but obviously we're on the Pacific Horse Players every Tuesday. Check out our one from last night. We covered the Coast to Coast Pick 5, which is the carryover on Friday. So definitely check that one out. Thursdays we do over on the Gallop Out on YouTube, usually a Keeneland or not Keeneland, usually a New York sequence with Kaylee Shapiro and Ryan Anderson. So all over that. And then In the Money, we usually once or twice a week as well. In the Money Media, all kinds of tracks for that one too. So a lot of fun. Yeah. Keeping it busy.
Everywhere. Jackson, I always hear Jackson everywhere when he's on the In the Money. Any track, it doesn't matter. Any track, any day, he's always ready.
I can't say no.
You can't say no. That's all right.
I love it. I like it too
Nothing
much.
wrong with that, man.
No.
Jackson likes the action. We all do. Another great Saturday at Santa Anita. Of course, West Coast hosting the Breeders' Cup at Del Mar. Guys, we're only 3 weeks away. I cannot wait for the 2025 Breeders' Cup. Why I'm wearing little purple to start representing. But this has been episode 27 of Great Race Plays. Thanks to my co-hosts Pete Visco and Jackson Muniz making his maiden voyage debut here on Great Race Plays. And as we always say at the end of the show, crush your bets at the Great Race Place, Santa Anita, on Saturday. Take care, everyone. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.